Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. Those in Mingo County continue to send love and prayers to Sergeant Corey Maynard's loved ones after he was fatally shot in the line of duty on Friday. As News Channel 3's Matt Lackert shares, community members are reflecting on that day and what Sergeant Maynard means to them.
A small bed of flowers lay in front of Williamson State Police Detachment in honor of Sergeant Corey Maynard, shot and killed Friday. Brittany Tiller says she was at Mingo Central High School getting ready for her graduation when she learned of Maynard's death and the search for suspect Timothy Kennedy.
I thought they might have meant like at the actual school, so I was like really scared. I was like, what's going on? But it was actually on Beach Creek, so it was like a little bit farther from the school. But it was really scary in that moment. I was so confused.
Now, 2 days later, community members are reflecting on what Sergeant Maynard means to them. Cecilia Staten says she and her church prayed for Sergeant Maynard and his family during their Sunday service.
It's hard to not have a heavy heart, knowing that his family is suffering. He has children that are suffering.
Both Staten and Tiller are thinking about Sergeant Maynard in their own way, but want to let his family and those who know him best know that the community is thinking about him.
I'm just so proud that we have people who serve our country and our state and our community who are giving of themselves like he is.
I'm just really sorry for their loss, and that I hope that he gets justice.
What you're hearing is just the voice of a couple people, but even those that I spoke with off camera told me that they're not going to forget the impact that Trooper Maynard has made on their community. Gone, but a community that won't forget. Matt Lackritz, WSAZ News Channel 3, Mingo County.
Maynard leaves behind his wife and 2 children who were 9 and 13. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help his family. If you'd like to donate to that, we've got some information on our website. Raven Rock Golf Course Management are looking forward to bouncing back after their clubhouse was destroyed by a fire early this morning. The clubhouse included Raven Rock's Pro Shop and the Pine Restaurant. Golf Course Management told WYMT they are closed temporarily but hope to reopen soon in some capacity. Jenkins Volunteer Fire Department Captain James Stevens says golf course staff have often been involved in community events.
These folks help out with a lot of things in the community. For instance, they do runs. They sponsor a run every year. The Turkey Trot is up here every year. They sponsor golf tournaments. They have wedding receptions here. They have birthday things and things like that. So this is an area that people come to a lot.
Golf Course Management say while they hope to open the course back to the public soon, the Pine Restaurant will take longer to reopen. Part of the roof of an apartment building in Pikeville has collapsed. Officials with the Pikeville Police Department told WYMT that the Pikeville Commons apartment complex partially collapsed. The roof partially collapsed yesterday. Officials said that part of the building is shut down. We'll update this story when more information becomes available on our website, WYMT.com.
Well, the weather stays relatively quiet across the mountains as we go into tonight. Most of us are dry, but also mild as well. Here's a look at satellite and radar, and as you can see, most of us are dry under that clear sky tonight. But just a first alert as you wake up and walk out the door, we are watching out for possibly some dense fog, especially in those valleys. So you may need some extra time on your Monday morning commute as we kick off the work week. Those temperatures right now are mild in the upper 60s and lower 70s. 71 for London and Prestonsburg, 73 for Jackson and Pikeville, down to 65 in Grundy and 67 over in Clay County at Manchester. Now, as you wake up on Monday, we do stay dry under plenty of sunshine as well. But we are watching out for possibly a few showers or storms by the afternoon, also into the evening hours. Most of us are dry and warm. High temperatures topping out in the middle 80s by Monday afternoon, but we are watching out for some cooler air by midweek. All those details coming up in just a few minutes. Keaton.
All right, thank you, Cameron. An archery tournament in London brought in more than 3,000 people from across the world. It was a pro and amateur tournament that was broadcasted nationally. Archery Shooters Association President Joshua Grine says the competition had a lot of visitors, which was good for business.
Several thousand people here. We do a national broadcast that went out last night from here. Satellite truck was here and distributed our shoot down to, we'll have 500,000 people watching that event. We had just over 1,800 shooters here this weekend. We estimated probably 3,000 to 3,500 people total. We had phenomenal weather. The city of London was out here supporting us, and we had a really great event.
Grind says there were participants from ages 6 to 90 and had competitors from countries including South Africa, Denmark, and England. A massive show of support for an officer lost in the line of duty. The 6th annual golf scramble for the Louisville Metro Police Department's Nick Rodman was today, and more teams than ever played. In 2017, Rodman responded to a shots fired call and ended up getting into a chase with the suspect. At some point, they crashed into Rodman's cruiser. The officer died in the hospital. Ever since his death, the annual Nick Rodman Memorial Golf Scramble has raised money for LMPD's Wellness Center and their Officer in Distress Fund. And this year's draw was the biggest ever. Rodman's wife talked about how they have used his legacy to help other officers who are struggling.
It's been very hard. I mean, it's been 6 years. It's still really hard, but there's really nothing we can do about it. And we got to find ways to keep moving forward in life. It's just really a blessing to see. Like I said, it's very bittersweet. It's sad, but to see all these people come together, it's just kind of a beautiful thing.
The Nick Rodman Foundation has already raised $50,000 this year. And that's not even counting today's scramble. The final race has been run at Churchill Downs for today, and there won't be any more there for the rest of the season. After a rash of horse deaths, the rest of the spring meet will be ran at Ellis Park in Henderson. 12 horses have died at Churchill Downs since the stables opened back in March. Earlier this week, the track was handed down some regulations that would ban certain horses from running. Then, just a day later, they announced they were going to move the races altogether. Some locals that visit weekly say not having races at Churchill Downs is a pretty big deal and a significant change moving forward.
If you're born and bred here, it's in you, and you can't hardly almost live without it. And for the ones of us that are here, we're already waiting for Derby next year, and that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, great.
You're going to miss it.
Racegoers did say they felt it was important for Churchill to do something for the safety of the horses. And while they're sad, they're looking forward to the next time they can come back. Officials say F-16 fighter jets are responsible for a sonic boom heard across the D.C. metro area on Sunday. The jets scrambled to respond to an unauthorized aircraft in D.C. airspace. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides reports.
It happened just after 3 in the afternoon, an explosive sound rattling much of the D.C. metro area that officials have confirmed was a sonic boom caused by U.S. jet fighters. NORAD F-16s scrambled at supersonic speed to reach a Cessna 560 Citation 5 aircraft over restricted airspace around the nation's capital. The NORAD aircraft used flares, but the pilot in the civilian aircraft was unresponsive before crashing into mountainous terrain near the George Washington National Forest in southwest Virginia. To be clear, officials say the F-16s did not down the aircraft. The sonic boom was heard across the capital region. In a statement, the Federal Aviation Administration said that the NTSB will be leading the investigation into the crash. President Biden was briefed on the incident late Sunday. The small Cessna departed from Tennessee, headed to New York's Long Island prior to the crash. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Officials say the aircraft was a Cessna Citation, which can carry between 7 to 12 passengers. Coming up at 11, as talks of a meeting between China's president and President Biden are heating up, so are the tensions in the Pacific.
And we stay warm on Monday, but some cooler air is on the way. All those details coming up in just a few minutes.